Have you ever heard a voice that wasn't quite real, but still found a way to echo inside your chest? Not a scream, not a whisper, but something in between. A chill that rides the back of your thoughts. That's how it started for him. The farmer. People in his village called him hard-working, even lucky. His land yielded enough, his roof never leaked, his children were healthy. But if you looked closer, really looked, you'd see it in his eyes, the 1,000-yard stare of a man fighting battles no one else could see. Every sunrise brought questions he couldn't answer. What if the rain doesn't come? What if pests destroy the crop? What if one accident ruins everything? These weren't just passing thoughts. They built a nest inside his head. Day by day, worry wrapped around him like an invisible chain. He worked from dawn to dusk but never truly rested. At night he'd lie in bed with his eyes wide open, heart pounding against his ribs, not from labor but from fear. And the cruelest part? Nothing had even gone wrong, yet that tiny word echoed louder than thunder in the farmer's mind. Nothing had gone wrong, yet. It was the yet that kept him up at night, the shadow behind every smile, the weight in his chest even on peaceful days. One morning, without telling anyone, he picked up his walking stick and left. Not to run away, but to find something, an answer, a cure, maybe just a moment of silence from his own thoughts. Hours passed under a harsh sun as he wandered beyond the fields and into the unknown. Then he reached it, a fast, angry river cutting across his path like a dare. In the center stood a narrow wooden bridge, barely wide enough for 1 foot at a time. He froze. The water below roared like a beast, daring him to fall. Go forward and risk death, go back and return to the torment in his mind. That's when he saw a figure, a man cloaked in black, eyes glowing red, standing at the edge of the bridge as if he'd been waiting all along. The man didn't speak at first. He just stood there, still as stone, while the wind tugged at his black cloak. The farmer's breath caught in his throat. Something about those red eyes, calm yet cold, made his knees weak. Then the man finally spoke, his voice hollow and smooth like wind through a grave. "Before sunrise tomorrow I will come to your village," he said, "and take 50 souls with me." That was all. No threat, no explanation, just a declaration of doom. Panic surged through the farmer like lightning. He turned and ran, heart pounding, legs trembling, back across the path, through the fields and into the heart of his village. When he arrived, out of breath and soaked in sweat, he shouted the warning to anyone who would listen. Faces turned, pale. Children cried, doors slammed shut. Fear spread faster than wildfire, leaping from house to house. That night, no one slept. They waited, hearts racing, as if counting down to their own ends. And when morning came, it wasn't 50 people who had died, it was 500. The number crushed the farmer like a blow to the chest. He stood among the mourning cries and stunned silence, unable to move, unable to breathe. This wasn't just fear, it was betrayal. He had warned them. He had done everything he could. And still 500 lives were gone. Grief turned to anger. With fists clenched and heart burning, he retraced his steps back to the river, hoping, no, demanding answers. The figure in black was there, as if he had never left. The farmer's voice cracked with fury. "You lied. You said 50. You took 10 times that." The man tilted his head slightly, a ghost of a smile forming beneath his hood. "I did take 50, he replied calmly. "Only 50. The farmer's rage turned to confusion. "Then who took the rest?" The man's eyes glowed brighter. "Worry," he said. "Worry took them, not I." And with those words, something inside the farmer shattered. Not from fear this time, but from understanding. The real killer had never worn a cloak. It had lived inside them all along. The realization hit harder than any truth the farmer had ever faced. The true enemy hadn't stood on that bridge, it had slept inside their minds. Worry, silent and invisible, had done what death could not. It had stolen life before life even had the chance to be lived. The farmer sank to his knees by the riverbank, overwhelmed not just by grief but by regret. All those nights he spent feeding the fear, all those warnings he carried home, they hadn't saved anyone. They had spread the poison. Death, watching, him quietly spoke once more. You cannot control every outcome, but fear makes you try, and that breaks you. Then, as the wind swept through the valley, death vanished. No grand farewell, no final curse. Just silence. The farmer returned home not as a man looking for safety, but as one seeking courage. For the first time, he planted seeds in his field without asking what if. Not because he stopped being afraid, but because he finally understood. Action is the only answer fear can't swallow.